Hello, my name is Paul Fillery. I'm vicar here at All Saints Church here in Martock, the second largest parish church here in Somerset. When we came to consider heating solutions in a building this size, we were pretty stuck, really. It's very hard to find things that really fit a building this big. So we looked at more gas, which seemed too expensive and in fact not environmentally friendly, not going towards the net zero carbon initiative of 2030 for the Church of England. So with that, we thought, where do we go? So heat pumps, very expensive. You also need to really interfere with the infrastructure of the church to put many of these things in. Under pew heating, those kind of things, quite limited. And people are used to this building being very warm. They like the heat when they come in. So radiant heat, that became the focus. And off we went and looked and found Herschel. Currently, this building is heated by a 35-year-old gas-fired boiler. It burns a lot of gas. It's expensive. We're on a fixed rate at the moment. We know it's going to change. And with utility costs, that was a worry. It's also old, so if something goes wrong in the boiler, what are we going to do if we need spare parts? Well, we have to replace, and replacement looked very expensive too. So gas seemed to be an option we needed to move away from for lots and lots of reasons. The Halo design has been absolutely fantastic. That's been the thing that sold it to us. It looks like it belongs in a building of this age. And the proof of that has been that when people come in, they hardly notice that it's there, which is fantastic, really. So the congregation had been thinking, oh, it's there, that's great. But it fits beautifully, the aesthetic is good, it looks good, and it's got light in it as well as heat in it. So it solves a dual purpose of lighting quite a dark chapel. And for that purpose, it's just ticked all the boxes for us. The team that came were excellent. They did a good job. One day, 3 guys working very hard from early morning till quite late, got it done and got it sorted quite quickly for us. And it was up and running and looking good straight away, which is wonderful. As a church, we're realizing that a church this size, what we're thinking now is that the best way to go, instead of heating a whole church as big as this, zonal heating is a really sensible way to go, both for energy efficiency and cost and environmental impact as well. So our plan is to go further, put some halos down our north aisle and the south aisle. And then we're looking to talk to Herschel about the possibility of the pillar-mounted new halos that are coming out, the long halos as they're calling them, because that is another area where the congregations sit, and the nave is quite an important area to heat. So that's got to look good as these ones do now. Matt came, we were able to ask him the questions we needed. He did quite a thorough survey of the place, took measurements and sent us a plan. Then a good mock-up as well. It was quite helpful to see what it might look like. And that was really important when working with the DAC, to give them a good sense of what we were going to be putting on our ceiling. And so they got that as something to look at, and that was very important to them and for us, really. So the whole thing did flow really nicely from the design side and planning side, and we still can have ongoing conversations, and still are having ongoing conversations with Matt and the team at Herschel about the future and how we do that together. I think for us, it's the way we're going to go, and I think it's an important one, and I think it's an important one because of the environmental objectives of the Church of England, zero carbon 2030, that's important to us. The cost is important, but as I said, it makes a lot of sense to be able to zonal heat a building that's as big as this. You really don't want to be heating a huge place for many, many hours for a handful of people meeting in a certain area. So that's the appeal. I think it makes a lot of sense to us practically going forward. We're going to be needing that more and more, I think, in the days to come. So that's our hope.